The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet over 80% of it remains unexplored. It's a vast, silent world filled with beauty, but also danger. Beneath the waves lies a realm of crushing pressure, complete darkness, and forces we can't always see or understand. We cool off in its waters during the summer, stroll along its shores, and listen to the rhythmic crashing of waves against rock. But sometimes, even the most peaceful day at the beach can turn deadly in an instant. That's exactly what happened on the southern coast of Oman. It was meant to be a relaxing family outing, a short break from the fast-paced life of Dubai. Shashikant Mahamane, a 42-year-old sales manager originally from Maharashtra, India, took his wife and 2 young children to Salalah, a popular coastal town just across the border in Oman. The weather was warm, the sea inviting, and the family, like many others, simply wanted to enjoy a day by the water. But what happened that afternoon would end in unthinkable tragedy. As they arrived at Al Mughsil Beach, their children, Shruti, 9, and Shreyas, 6, ran joyfully toward the shoreline. Shashikant watched nearby, smiling as they played. But then, without warning, a massive wave crashed onto the shore. It struck with violent force, sweeping both children off their feet and dragging them into the ocean. The scene quickly turned to chaos. Bystanders screamed in panic. In the final moments of the video, the children can be seen vanishing beneath the waves, overpowered by the sheer force of the sea. If you watch closely, you can see Shashikant sprinting after them, shouting in desperation. Without hesitation, he plunged into the surf, determined to save his children. But the current was far too strong. By the time emergency responders arrived, both Shashikant and young Shreyas had drowned. Their bodies were eventually recovered from the water, but Shruti, the 9-year-old girl, was never found. Her fate remains unknown. What began as a joyful beach day ended in unimaginable loss. For the mother left behind, her world was changed forever in a matter of minutes. And even now, Shruti's disappearance stands as a chilling reminder of the ocean's unforgiving power and how quickly life can be taken by the sea. It's chilling how danger can strike when you least expect it, quietly, without warning. In the next video, we'll see a haunting example of that. The audio was captured near someone's home and later uploaded to YouTube by a user named ForestFire21. It was recorded around 2 a.m. on a cold December night in 2014. Quick interruption. If you're enjoying this video, why not hit that subscribe button? We're on a mission to hit 300,000 subscribers, and when we do, 3 lucky fans will win a limited edition items. Right now, 61.2% of you watching haven't subscribed yet. We're pushing for at least 40%, and we need your help to make it happen. It's completely free, and your support helps us make even more awesome videos. So, don't miss out, subscribe now, and let's get back to the video. According to the uploader, he lives near a forest, and the disturbing sounds were coming from deep in the woods behind his house. At first, it's difficult to make out exactly what the child is yelling. But after listening closely, several viewers pointed out something even more chilling. Along with the young female voice crying out, you can faintly hear an adult male voice yelling, "Where are you?" This subtle, quieter voice layered beneath the child's screams makes the entire recording all the more unsettling. Near the end of the video, the uploader explains that he checked the news every day following the incident, hoping to find some explanation. But nothing ever came up. The fact that these screams were captured around 2 a.m. in the freezing cold, in the middle of the woods, raises serious concerns that something truly sinister may have happened that night. Some viewers questioned why the uploader recorded and posted the clip instead of calling the police immediately, but without more context, which the video's description doesn't provide, it's impossible to know for sure. Perhaps he did call. Perhaps he didn't. All we do know is that the shrillness of the screams and the eerie nature of the encounter leave a haunting impression. And whatever really happened in those woods that night, we may never find out. And there's more. The next video is yet another reminder that we may never uncover the truth behind some of these unsettling moments. Summer, a beautiful time of the year. It's warm, people are outside, enjoying time with family and friends, cooling off from the heat. It's a familiar scene across the world, but sometimes, even the most innocent moments can take a terrifying turn. It happened in March of 2025, somewhere in Brazil. The exact motive is unclear. Was it simply a way to cool off during a hot day, or was there something more behind it? In the video, a group of boys can be seen laughing and filming as one of their friends stands on the edge of a bridge, preparing to jump. They watch closely, phones in hand, ready to capture the moment. But what happens next is something none of them could have predicted. As the boy jumps, a massive crocodile launches out of the water, its intent unmistakable. It was going for him. Fortunately, the boy had leapt just far enough, and in the video, the crocodile appears to miss him entirely. But beyond what we see on camera, the details are murky. I looked deeper into the clip, hoping to find more information, but nothing conclusive ever surfaced. So, what was this? Just a horrifying coincidence? Or did the boy somehow know what he was doing? In the end, it remains unknown. We'll leave for you to decide. While you might have your own thoughts about this video, I'm more curious what you'll make of this next one, where death seems to be hiding in the smallest of corners. Working at heights, for some, it's their greatest fear. For others, just another day on the job. But globally, it remains one of the most dangerous parts of any workplace. Each year, over 100,000 workers lose their lives in falls from height, making it one of the deadliest causes of job-related deaths worldwide. On July 1st, 2022, the sun was out, the air was warm, and 552 workers were on site, building the framework for a new structure. The day had just begun, and everyone was starting fresh. Logan, a man who had been with the company for over 12 years, was doing what he always did, making sure everything was running safely and by the book. He moved from team to team, checking in with colleagues, ensuring every step was followed with precision. But as he reached the base of the ladder leading to the upper floors, he paused, looked up, and began to climb. Then a single misstep changed everything. Logan lost his footing and fell from a height of 8 meters. The impact was immediate. He landed flat on his neck, bounced once, and collapsed, motionless, on his back, arms locked in the air, stiff from the shock. Within seconds, co-workers rushed to him, trying to help, lifting his body, hoping for a sign. But it was already too late. Emergency services were called, and officials arrived on site, but Logan didn't make it. He had died doing the job he loved. Not much more was shared publicly about the incident. It's unclear what exactly caused the fall and whether his family ever received any support. But one thing is certain: this footage is a stark reminder of how fast life can change on the job, and just how dangerous routine can become when something goes even slightly wrong. The next video is another chilling reminder that even the most ordinary actions can take a deadly turn in an instant. This footage takes us to a dark and isolated road. At first, nothing seems out of the ordinary, but as the car rounds a bend, something strange comes into view. A man in a suit, holding a briefcase and an umbrella, standing motionless at the edge of the road. Then, just seconds later, another identical figure appears. Both figures retreat into the tall grass. But that's when it becomes clear. They weren't alone. Multiple identical men begin to emerge, all dressed the same, all eerily still. They seem startled by the car's headlights, as if they'd been caught in the middle of something they weren't meant to be seen doing. Suddenly, further down the road, another figure appears, this one holding a burning flare. What happened next remains a mystery. Some believe the driver may have stumbled into the middle of a ritual, possibly even a cult gathering. But the truth? No one really knows. And the same goes for the next video, captured in February of 2013. Several residents of a quiet neighborhood in northern Oregon filed reports about strange, unsettling noises echoing from the nearby forest. The sounds were described as eerie, almost like laughter, but distorted, unnatural, and far too loud to be human. One resident, curious and concerned, stepped outside to investigate and began recording the noise. Some locals believe the noises could have been made by foxes or coyotes, but others aren't so sure. They point out that coyote howls have a sharper, more canine quality, and they don't typically echo with such volume or intensity. To this day, what exactly caused the chilling sounds that night remains unknown, and for this final piece of footage, the truth may forever remain out of reach. It all began on the night of September 8, 2015, when a man named Tim from Mountain View, Minnesota, called the local police. His friend, 32-year-old Henry McCabe, a Liberian immigrant and auditor for the Department of Revenue, had vanished without a trace. Tim explained that Henry had attended a barbecue earlier that evening, hosted by a man named Emmanuel, before heading out to a nightclub around 11 p.m. What began as a normal night out quickly unraveled into one of the most bizarre missing person cases in recent history. According to witnesses, Henry had been drinking heavily at the SAA nightclub in Spring Lake. Around 2 a.m., he asked a man named William, one of the friends he'd been with, to drop him off at a gas station. Strangely, Henry declined a ride home, opting instead to be left alone at this random location. Minutes later, at 2:20 a.m., he made a phone call to his wife, Corrine. What she heard during that call would haunt her forever. Corrine later told investigators that Henry sounded delirious, disoriented, his words slurring into something that barely resembled speech. Fearing something was wrong, she tried to contact one of Henry's friends for help. That call went unanswered, but fate took a darker turn. The final 2 minutes of Henry's conversation with Corrine were recorded on the friend's voicemail, and what was captured is pretty disturbing. The voicemail left behind was chilling, filled with guttural moans, groans, and disturbing growls. At times, it sounded like Henry was being attacked, though by what or whom remains unclear. The recording quickly spread online, often described as one of the most unsettling pieces of audio linked to a missing person. Words were barely audible, only raw panic and fear. That same night, another friend tried calling Henry and later told police it sounded like he was in the middle of a violent encounter. Strangely, Henry's wife, Corrine, despite recognizing how out of character his voice sounded, only called one friend for help. When there was no answer, she simply went back to sleep, insisting later she still believed Henry was alive, though she had no proof. Phone records showed that just after the call ended, Henry dialed a Texas number he'd contacted over 20 times that day. When traced, the number was already out of service. Oddly, more calls were made to that same number in the days after his disappearance, raising the question of who was using his phone. As the investigation unfolded, inconsistencies piled up. Surveillance footage from the gas station where William claimed he dropped Henry off showed no sign of his red car. When questioned, William changed his story, saying he actually left Henry at a different station miles away. Rumors soon followed. A confidential FBI informant claimed that Emmanuel, the host of the barbecue, and several men with him acted suspiciously during search efforts, often whispering among themselves, keeping their distance from the others. But nothing was ever proven. Then came the letter. On October 2nd, an anonymous note arrived at the New Brighton Police Department. It read, "Henry McCabe. His body next to water, partially buried. Need search dog to find. Witness saw burial, scared female, young, asked to come forward, can remain anonymous, will protect." Exactly 1 month later, on November 2nd, Henry's body was found in Rush Lake. There were no visible injuries, no signs of violence, yet the letter described a burial, something intentional, something hidden. Some say he drowned, others suspect suicide. But there's another theory, one that whispers through internet forums and late-night podcasts, suggesting that what happened to Henry may not be explainable at all. Whatever the truth is, the night Henry vanished left behind more questions than answers. And the deeper you go, the more unsettling it becomes. That's all for today, folks. If you want to see more of this creepy content, click on the video on screen.